Alright guys, so today I'm going to be hooking up my fog lights. There's one, two, got the wire to hook them together, which I'll have to cut the plug off and wire it into the factory plug underneath the fuse box. LED bulbs. If I can get it out of the box one-handed. This is the factory switch, which I will have to then turn on the factory stuff with Alpha OBDII, which I'm working on hooking it up. I gotta take my kick panel off and stuff and hook it into the OBDII port. I still gotta do that yet. The bypass wire needs hooked into the OBDII port, and then plug it in and hook it up to my laptop. Also, I'm going to wire up my light bar. I'm going to hook it into my auxiliary panel. I think I'm going to put it on 3 because 3 the truck has to be on. 1 and 2, if I can get 1 and 2 the truck doesn't have to be on. Or yeah, 1 and 2 the truck doesn't have to be on. And I'm going to leave them for rock lights and my rear lights, my rear light bars. So since I'm really not going to be running this light bar that much, I'm going to probably put it on 3. So I'm going to get this kick panel off and get the Alpha OBDII hooked up and start playing around with it first. This is the first time I've actually used this. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not too sure, and I don't want to steer you guys wrong with anything on it. I want to play with it myself first before I tell you guys anything. Alright guys, so I got the fog lights bolted in. I recommend getting the speed nuts and the regular bolts to hold those in, because putting 1/4-inch bolts and stuff in there is a pain in the butt. I fought with them, and it was a pain. So I'm going to swap out the regular halogen bulbs that come with these for LED bulbs. Could be. On both sides, obviously. Alright guys, so I put my wiring harness in, which I gotta come back and snip them zip tie Christmas tree things. The longer side obviously on the passenger side. It goes, tucks in the valence in behind, I'm not sure what you want to call it. It's one of the coolers. I'm not sure if it's the intercooler. That's what it is. Between the intercooler and the valence and everything. Then it pops out and goes over to the driver's side and hooks into the headlight over here, which I gotta snip this side too. And then you got this plug here. This plug is the plug that goes up to the where you're supposed to, where on a normal truck would be down here on the frame. Obviously on this truck it doesn't have it. On this plug, I believe the white and the brown are grounds, and the black and the blue are your positives. So I'm going to cut this plug off. My grounds are going to end up running up to a ground bolt. My blue is going to get ran up to the white and orange wire. And the black is going to end up running up to the white and yellow wire, which I'll show you guys where that's at here in a second. Yeah, that wire, I tucked it. It's somewhere. I tucked it up in here. Up and underneath the valence. And then up here, I can get my light to stay. underneath your fuse box, you have this plug here. On this side, it's missing a bunch of holes where wires should be. And then on this side, you got all the wires coming in. Right here is a white and orange wire and a white and yellow wire. White and orange goes to the passenger side. White and yellow is your driver's side fog lights coming from your switch. So, with that being said, once I put the factory switch in and turn it on with the Alpha OBDII, it'll send power to them to turn the fog lights on. So I'm going to tap into those two wires. There, guys, so got the wires hooked up, soldered, heat shrinked. Grounds is black here. I was wrong earlier. I don't know why I was thinking the black was positive on the driver's side. It's the ground on the driver's side. I don't know why I said it. The white one is the positive on the driver's side, which is the green wire here. Blue's the positive on the passenger side, and the brown and the black are the negatives. There's this black wire. So I'm gonna put them back in that loom there, and then fabric tape this all and get it ran up through the side there up to where the fuse box is. I'm gonna put an eyelet on the ground and get it connected to the body ground up there, and then I will splice the two positives into that harness. Alright, guys, so I got my wires soldered in down there, and the grounds are right there. I'm gonna go ahead and put my fuse box back in, light, and do this at the same time. Back in. Alright, so next step is I gotta get my switch changed out in the cab. Once I do that, I'll make sure I got it set up on an Alpha OBDII, which I can show you guys what I did there, and then test them. Alright, guys, so to get this out, you don't have to take his kick panel out. You can. I did it so I can put my hand behind it and push the vent out. Pull the vent out. There's these metal push tabs. You push them, push it out. Obviously unhook the wire. I'm gonna test a couple wires in here because I got other stuff I'm hooking up eventually, and I need to know the wire color there. So I'm gonna test them, get the other switch in, put this all back together, and then we'll screw around the Alpha OBDII, and then we'll test it. Alright, guys, so this took me a little bit to figure out. I got my, if you have an 18 or newer, you need this bypass cable. If it's 2500 or 3500, it'll have a green and a white one. Depending on which color connectors you got, you'll use either the green or white one. The other side, you're supposed to pop this out, plug it in, leave it in, whatever. You don't have to. And I just have it plugged in. And then there's my OBDII link. So, Bluetooth it to your laptop. Open your Alpha OBDII. Says what you're gonna do. Select what vehicle you have. Mine's a Ram 3500. Go into your body control module. Mine's 2018. You want to connect to it. I'm using OBDII link. Connect to it, and then you'll see this vehicle with the open hood. It says active diagnostics. You want to go under there, and then you'll have this drop down box. You want to go almost the whole way to the bottom. you'll see car configuration change. Click on it. So you have find setting and select option. I typed in fog for fog lights. So I tried, this one here did not work, this one here did not work, and then I seen this one, which is, it's for the different pins with the output present. I clicked on them and then hit yes, and then you want to hit start and then next, and it'll flash it to the truck. And then you can come over here, have your lights on, or have your key on, turn the switch, hit the button, and you'll have your fog lights on now. And there we go. Fog lights are on. Now I gotta put the dash back together because I waited to make sure it was gonna work before I put the dash back together. So I'm gonna throw the dash back together. Next, I'm gonna wire up that light bar to my auxiliary switches. Alright guys, so my truck did not come with the plugs to plug into here. It did not come with a manual or anything for these. So essentially is what I did. I took a test light, tested every single one of them, wrote the numbers on these plugs. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is this bottom one down here. Now yes, there is 6 wires going in here. The 6th one goes in here. From what I had read online before, the 6th one is for your trucks with the PTOs in them, which my truck does not have. So some trucks do the 6th switch in the panel. Mine does not. So that's what that other wire's for. Don't hold me to that, but that's what they say. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go on the back side of this plug over here. I'm gonna jump into the wire over here like I did for the fog lights. I'm just gonna jump into the back side and tap into it. And I'll probably run the ground either to the battery or to this body ground like I did for the fog lights. But as of right now, my fog light, or my light bar wire, is hanging from the bottom of the bumper, so I gotta extend the wires. So I'm gonna start making a wiring harness and solder it on and run it up. Alright guys, so it's placed in back of that plug on number 3. Got my positive wire ran back. It's back behind the battery tray. And then meets up with my ground wire right here at the body ground. Then it drops down with the fog light harness. I'm not climbing back under the truck, but it's zip tied to the fog light harness and goes into the light bar, which comes up right here into the light bar. But let's do moment of truth and see if it comes on. Ignition on. Press the button 3 and we have light. It's actually decently bright. So I'm gonna take it for a test drive because I have actually yet to see them headlights. I've been going to work and it's been bright out every time I drive to work, so I've yet to even see the headlights work in the dark. I've yet obviously to see the fog lights because I just put them in, and I want to see the light bar. So I am going to clean my stuff up and I'm going to take the truck for a test drive. Alright guys, there's the low beams with the fog lights. There's high beams, which the high beams and low beams are on together. But I did notice one fancy feature. The fog lights are still on. They don't shut off unless you shut them off with the switch. which I have done that on other trucks I've owned. I've made them stay on. But there's probably a way in the settings to make them shut off on the Alpha OBDII. I didn't look into it since I literally noticed it before I went on the test drive. And then I can reach for the switch. There's the light bar. But I figured I'd run and grab a bite to eat since it is almost 20 after 12 and I haven't eaten in like 12 hours. So I figured I'd run off the sheets and get something to eat. So that'll be it for this video. I'm not sure what the next video is going to be, if it'll be running boards, rock lights, running lights for the mirror. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Just stay tuned.